Greetings friends on the Cryptosphere channel. This is the last themed video for this year. Tomorrow will be a congratulatory one. But you can never too many congratulations, so happy new year everyone. And I really wish that in the coming year the joke that this year was easy. You will make sure that in 2025 never found ground. As far as the cryptocurrency industry is concerned, there are certainly optimistic notes that you and I are paying attention to. That and of course the strategic reserve of bitcoins, and how the situation of winding down, regulation, enforcement from the revamped SEC, the expansion of Bitcoin and crypto apps in general will unfold. And of course there are tons and tons of important things that we have been paying attention to and will continue to pay to. Well, today we will run through the events. Next week we could not make a video yesterday. The material was not enough for a full-fledged issue. But I will also add some relevant information. For example, the start of trading on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And who would have thought that a JEP was organized there from the start of trading? For now I think that the players are still in thought, because at this second I personally do not see that after the expiration of futures on platform of record value everyone rushed to buy or sell. The volumes on this market are still small, but it should be taken into account that while I am recording this video, America is quietly sleeping in its beds. But I'll also note that I've highlighted this with a rectangle, another closed JEP, and it happens rarely that it is organized during trading hours. But it was before the close on the 27th. So it is not such news for us. I just repeat once again that the overwhelming number of JEPs are closed sooner or later. Today, by the way, there was an attempt to close today's JEP, but the bulls did not have enough strength. As far as the open interest volumes are concerned, after the tumultuous days of the 18th through the 23rd, we see a clear downward trend. One and the other players with their closed positions, as I said, are waiting. Thus, again, I say the standard phrase, we will be interested to see the opening of us trading. Perhaps all these Bitcoin expirations on the 27th will find their place. Report does not work, as we discussed the situation with Tether and the European Union last week. Plus I had several posts in my Telegram channel, including yesterday's one, where it was simply confirmed that except for Coinbase, none of the major European exchanges has delisted just yet. Well, Coinbase, it is clear, they work with USDT and move their coin. That is the usual competitive struggle, but on the other hand, the situation is scaring the players and we see that this coin is being drained. And look, here just now I took a screenshot. We see the lowest price of Tether in a year. Of course, the situation is a little bit unnerving when you see the minimum marks for the year, but again, if you look at circumstantial factors, you can see the large transactions in Tether from 200 million I've highlighted specifically on Archim. And we can see that the last large transactions were 2 days ago. Well, in general, there have been one or two and countless large transactions recently, given that they can print $1 billion in one click. That is, roughly speaking, the giants do not actively transfer this coin to Bitfinex. And why to Bitfinex? It is like an intermediate transfer point, and then this situation goes directly to the treasury. And by the way, we see a number of transactions, but they are negligible with such capitalization of this coin, this stablecoin. Well, I would say so far at the time of recording this video. Next we have to look at their Bitcoin reserves, and we can see that they are sitting pretty, and as it were, there's $7 billion here, and it is still there, but we know that they mostly have reserves in American treasures. And again, in order for them to print their coffers you need some outright large transactions, and we have to get some kind of signal in the form of burning a certain amount of coins. There have been no burns so far either. So far all the money, so far all the stablecoins, as of the time of recording this video in the system. Of course, if something is suspicious and we see that something is growing like a snowball, then we will have to act faster. But for now, except for the Tether price chart, the blockchain does not show any accompanying evil factors. As much as I want to start getting ahead of ourselves and talking about the fact that there will be a ton of factors going into January, here's just to take one. unfiring of Jerry Gensler, or rather his resignation. But we clearly follow the plan of the video and say that in the coming week there will be an event that expert analysts estimate as positive for the crypto industry. Subscribe to Deeple Pro to edit this document. Visit Deeple Pro for more information. Creditors will finally get their money after all. It is not about the token. Here those who borrowed it are on the high ground. We'll get a rhyming word on the principle of purchased on high. But further but those who lost in dollars deposits in other coins will receive on the fact of billing claims. We are talking about a sum of $16 billion, but it will be stretched over 60 days, if not 90. This is the antipode of Bitcoin sales by McGox. That is, there they sell Bitcoins to get dollars. Here people familiar with the crypto industry get dollars, but again, having a sad experience. Some people will not want to dive into crypto again, and others will say, why not? One shell does not fall into the same funnel twice. Moreover, they are a little bit angry and their funds were frozen and forcibly converted into dollars at the time of again making demands, and crypto has grown since then, and we already know there are some lawsuits that will not pay them enough. But let them be happy that at least something will be paid and the bagpipes do not drag on as long as they did with McGox. Therefore, some liquidity is expected on the market. Let me remind you once again that the start of settlements is January 3. You can see in front of you my standard table that I show. But usually when we discuss the events of the coming week, unlocking tokens, and the amount will be not to say small, a decent amount, 421 million, more than half will unlock the SUI coin. There is no clear, I've said this many times, opinion that since there will be unlocking, the price will fall. We have obviously seen examples that show the opposite. It depends on a lot of factors and, as I say, in such cases you need to be saturated with information about this coin, to know everything and anything, from the developers' pranks to serious economic prospects. Then you can assume with some confidence that this unlocking in some coin will go, on the contrary, even for the good, not purely in the pocket of the local fundraising. Basically, the table in front of your eyes and in front of you now, again in front of your eyes, another table where we see next week's company reports. By the way, a new company report is just around the corner and it is going to be a bit of a shuffle again. First of all with the large capitalization companies, and we are going to get in the middle of it. Just in time for Trump's inauguration. Well, for now, only 2 companies will report this week. In front of you is the list of events that will take place this week. As we can see, the week is certainly not empty, unlike the previous schedule. But again, there's double sense and there's this pitfall. Number 1, if this were a normal week, you and I would say that, yes, the Federal Reserve is directly paying attention to any of these events. But unless there's the labor force situation, well, that data is released every week, so there's no super expectation of that. Let me remind you that the event chest of the Federal Reserve System includes the number of employed in the agricultural sector, consumer price index, inflation needs. We also pay attention to the beige book minutes of the Fed meetings and of course the Fed's interest rate meeting. And of course as sometimes Paul speaks, he can also make a lot of noise. The rest of the data and the pitfall is this: the market has weak liquidity and accordingly, if on a weekday players could somehow ignore, then here in case of either an accumulative effect or a serious change in the data, we can get such a decent effect, of course, behind it. We'll all try to observe as much as our post-holiday health will allow. As for my videos, this week they will continue to be released irregularly. Most likely the first and second day of the video will not be able to make, but from the third with you slowly begin to discuss the current situation, which occurred during these days. Well, on the other hand, information hunger will not be for sure, because no matter how I do not celebrate, the Telegram channel will be filled. And yesterday there was no video, but the whole information picture of the day, supplemented with graphs, metrics, pictures from neural network, a lot of funny videos that summarize the results of 2024. All this was there. And that's all. With you was the channel Cryptosphere. Subscribe, click on the bell to not miss new videos, because next will be even more interesting. Bye bye.